and welcome to the Quincy Access Television Studios. I'm Mark Crosby. Welcome to In the Know, a program that helps you to stay informed. A guest on this program frequently is the Sheriff of Norfolk County. He has joined us once again, Pat McDermott. Pat, welcome back.
Another month has come and gone, and we're back into now the spring season. Looking forward to sharing some stuff about what we're doing in the Sheriff's Office, and thanks as always to QATV for getting the message out.
Yes, and it does, thank you, and it does get out because the other centers throughout Norfolk County, the other access centers do pick up this program as well.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, there's a lot of activity that goes around Norfolk County, and if I had to go around to 28 towns and do this particular show 28 times, as much as I like to promote that, it's a lot of time that goes into it. So the beauty of modern technology is the ability to share this program with other communities, and those that pick it up, I'm very grateful for.
And we should mention that we pick up programming from those other stations
Correct.
As well. It certainly makes for a rich programming schedule.
Share and share alike.
Absolutely.
Play well in the sandbox.
Well said. And that's actually perfect for the time of year that we're doing this program, the Sandbox. Many sandboxes are coming
Yes,
back
coming to life. Exactly.
Let's talk about an event happening on June 14th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That is the Norfolk County Recovery Fest.
Yes, we're really excited about this. This came about as our staff, the Hope Center in Braintree, we're putting together some programming, and we have ongoing community partnership with a lot of people in the recovery community, a lot of the nonprofit community, as well as our sober houses and our recovery coaches that are out in the community. And we're really thrilled about it. We talked about it a little bit here on QATV when we talked about how we were going to get this thing up and running. Well, now
we kind of broke the news.
We broke the news here, and it really is coming to life now. So we've put together a full day of music on June 14th at our Braintree Public Safety Complex, 2015 Washington Street in Braintree. All are invited. It's going to be a day of music, of games, and basically hope. That's what we're pushing at the Hope Center in Braintree, is that an opportunity for people to come together, celebrate the healing, opportunity, purpose, and engagement. And that's what the Hope Center stands for. Very family-friendly event, co-hosted by the Way of Life Peer Recovery Program. We got a stage set up. We have a great acreage down at the Braintree Complex. Stage is going to be set up with multiple bands. We're featuring several acts that our headliner, which is well known in the community, is Justin Clancy. We're excited to see Justin. Christian Champagne and the Kind Souls, and near and dear to my heart is the band called The Glow. That happens to be my son's band, and so
oh, nice.
little self-pride there watching Adam and his buddy DJ come on stage and support the programs at the Hope Center.
So when they say the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, folks will know that you are a singer as well.
Yeah, I just play one on TV. I'm a lounge lizard, so to speak. When I look at my kids and look at Adam and
actually, Alana as well.
They're both talented kids, and I'm very proud of them. And
Alana has a beautiful voice.
She belts it out like no other. Yeah. So, but it's good. So we have an MC that's setting up MC Mathematics. I don't know mathematics, but I know how to add and subtract things. But the DJ Mathematics knows a couple of things about recovery too. He's a recovery person. Our event is also going to host an annual and highly competitive, by the way, cornhole tournament, which most folks really are going to look forward to enjoy. That's going to be sponsored by the Massachusetts Young People in Recovery. Guests will also have access. If you know about our Braintree campus, we usually talk about it. I know we're going to talk about it maybe later, is our youth leadership camp. We're very well known for our ropes course. So we're going to give opportunity to people to utilize our zip line that we have at Braintree. They have a miniature golf course that's going to be set up, and it wouldn't be a sheriff's cookout without the tactical picnic unit. So we'll have some free food for everybody. Dozens of recovery-focused vendors will be there. And so we really want to encourage people to come out, not just those in the recovery community, although that's the primary folks we're trying to reach, but we want the community to really get involved and realize that the recovery issues that we're dealing with substance use disorder, alcohol, drug addiction. This really affects all of us. It affects the community. It affects families. And so this is a day that we can focus on the celebratory activities of it. And we want people who might be struggling to realize they're not in this alone. Come to the Recovery Fest. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Find some partners that can help you out. And we're in the Sheriff's Office there to help along the way and to facilitate those partnerships.
And QATV was at the ribbon cutting of the Hope Center. Very welcoming, very, I suppose, relaxed environment.
That was the goal, is to set it back. We renovated an old office building. Actually, it used to be part of the jail back in the day. And we had administrative offices and housing that was there, but we renovated a wing of that building that now is a welcoming area for people who are coming out of our House of Correction. But now we're also, and this will be a subject probably for next month, breaking news technically, but next month we'll get into it. We're getting into a partnership with the Quincy District Court and our partners in the trial court to actually use the Hope Center as a diversion opportunity, so they can send people who are getting involved in the criminal justice system, who might be just jammed up on a couple of things, that we can help solve as a diversion program, rather than having them have to come to the House of Correction. So stay tuned on that.
Very good. A little teaser. I love it.
There it is.
Let's talk about some recent recognition.
So we're really proud. Annually, the Massachusetts Sheriffs join with the Department of Corrections and the Executive Office of Public Safety in recognizing heroes among the corrections professional staff. And we were in Worcester the other day, actually, to celebrate the actions of one of our own correctional professionals. One of our nurses, who's a longtime nurse in Norfolk County Sheriff's Office, Ed Reardon, dedicated 20-year veteran of our correctional center, was awarded the meritorious recognition for action he took back in December of 2024. The jail is a difficult place. It's a dangerous place, and things can happen at any given moment. And Ed jumped right into action when an individual who was in our care and custody in our medical unit assaulted one of our corrections officers. The officer it was an overnight shift, and she went down as a result of him requesting some stuff, simple things like whether it's another roll of toilet paper or a towel or whatever they needed. And the officer was trying to open the door, and when she opened that door, the inmate lunged at her, assaulted her, and Ed was the guy that was there to help. Nurse Ed jumped into action, immediately proceeded to where the danger zone was. Our officer was on the ground. The inmate was trying to come back out to further assault and possibly do extra harm to her. She did get injured in that, but Ed was able to keep the inmate at bay. The code was sent out so other officers could arrive there. And the overnight shift is kind of a quiet shift. Obviously, we always expect stuff to happen, but you just don't know. But within minutes, other officers arrived. Ed moved quickly, and his instincts took over, kept that inmate at bay until the other officers arrived. And basically, Ed's actions, they exemplify kind of the professionalism, the spirit of valor that's so common in the corrections industry, but we're so proud to recognize it in the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office. And so we were very happy to join Ed and some of our team to celebrate his efforts, as well as the efforts of many others across the Commonwealth that are doing this dangerous profession day in and day out, and they do it with pride, they do it with love, and they do it with providing services to these individuals who hopefully can be rehabilitated and back on the streets.
Let's talk about recognizing local veterans.
This is near and dear to our heart. It's become quite a program for the Sheriff's Office, our Veterans Outreach programs. In particular, our House to House for Heroes. This was a program launched here in Quincy a year ago. And we held our most recent Veterans Outreach in the town of Norfolk. We're in the county of Norfolk, and for those that don't know, out in the world of the county, there is a town of Norfolk.
I don't think I've ever been to the town of
beautiful, Norfolk. Beautiful community. I highly recommend it. They have a beautiful town square, town green. It's really nice down in Norfolk. So, but it was our huge success. We actually had incredible volunteers that came out. It was supposed to be a rainy morning. I was a little nervous on that Saturday morning. The weather forecast wasn't delivering a good outcome. But when we got there, the sun opened up, and the volunteers showed up in force. What we do is we partner, for those that don't know about the House to House for Heroes program, we go town by town, we identify all the veterans who live in that community. We partner up and we marshal volunteers, and those are youth groups, church groups, civic organizations come out. The veterans themselves who are trying to serve, and this always happens every time we do a House to House for Heroes, the veterans themselves, they want to volunteer to go out and bring this information. What we do is we deliver packets of information to the veterans in the town. And so we try to honor a veteran at every event. And we had our honorary chair in Norfolk, a gentleman by the name of Jim Schweitzer, United States Navy veteran from the Vietnam era. He is very active. Jim is active in the American Legion post. And I had the opportunity to join Jim and his team as we went door to door to visit some of the veterans in his community, and it was really touching because he knew these guys, he knew them all, and some of them are in tough shape. These are older veterans. We did come across one World War II veteran, which is always near to my heart because of my dad, who was a World War II veteran, and we know that the needs are out there in the veteran community. Oftentimes, the benefits that they are afforded, they have not heard about them, they don't know about them. And we want to make sure that they do. They've earned that benefit, and we want to make sure they know about it.
And I think sometimes, probably more than sometimes, veterans will feel like they don't deserve these benefits.
They do, and that's when veterans come back from service, they're looking to get back on with their lives and they're not expecting the accolades. They don't need a ticker tape parade or anything. They did their service, they came back, and that's the humbling part of a veteran. But for us as non-veterans, people, I'd never served, and many of us haven't served. But I want to make sure we remember the veteran. We make sure that the spirit that they've delivered and the dedication that they provided for their community, for their country, is recognized by us that never served. And so to have them share their stories, and that's what's so important, is when we get people out in the community, the volunteers come back with so many great stories of veteran services that these veterans did, and they open up to it, the volunteers, and the volunteers end up coming back really touched by it. And a lot of those volunteers say, when's the next one? And with that in mind, we're coming up to our next House for Heroes in Walpole, great town in the middle of Norfolk County. It's going to be Saturday, June 7th, 9 a.m. We are preparing to gather at the Walpole Senior Center, which is on South Street next to the Walpole Police Department. We usually have a short ceremony. We welcome the veterans in the audience. We certainly highlight a veteran in their community, and then we hit the streets, hit the doors like an old-fashioned campaign, and that's the way to deliver the services.
Now I think we'll talk about a program that also involves veterans, I believe. This is the Youth and Valor program.
Awesome program. This is started by our community engagement team a few years ago. We did a program, and it really touched my heart because it basically is a way to connect young people, that younger generation, with the men and women who've served in our armed forces, to learn about the sacrifices made by so many to protect our freedoms. And the veterans typically don't tell those stories, and they have to. I've always emphasized it when I go to American Legion, VFW halls. I said, you guys, men and ladies and gentlemen, you've got to tell your stories. We depend on a volunteer Army and Navy and military to defend this country, and unless young people are going to stay, and this generation's different. These people need, they want to, they're salivating for storytelling, and so veterans need to tell their stories. And so this program partners up high school students with veterans. And so we focused on Archbishop Williams High School, which was great. That's my daughter's alma mater. Many friends who went to Archie's, as we say. Amazing success. So 24 young people, which was unbelievable. We had 24 people, young men and women from Archie's, who are part of the Students for Heroes Club. So they have a club already established there, which was amazing. Interviewed 11 veterans, and not just any veterans. These were 11 alumni veterans of Archbishop Williams. Back in April, they interviewed them, and then the students then work on essays and start retelling their story as to how they got involved in military service, where they served, what they did, any particular things that stood out in their military sacrifice and service to our country. We presented those essays at a great little ceremony on Friday, May 2nd. We had a school assembly. It was the best one we've done so far because it brought together parents, teachers, the school community, and then we also had our, pomp and circumstance with our Norfolk County Honor Guard. It was really inspiring to see the kids and see the veterans.
I guess what have you been able to gather from the kids? In other words, the experience of interviewing these veterans.
They've established, first and foremost, they've established a lifetime, I think, connection. But we've also created an intergenerational connection with these kids, and it's also an opportunity to learn civics life. That the freedoms that we enjoy here in the United States. The saying goes, it may be overused, but freedom is not free, and it comes with sacrifice. And for the kids to have been able to hear these stories, and I did hear of many students who broke down in tears. And the veterans who shared in those tears with them, because sometimes for these veterans, it was the first time they told those stories. And for these kids to be able to share that experience, it's a lifetime of memories for them.
Let's remain with the youth, and let's connect them this time to seniors and something called the YES program.
YES program. So this is another great program that our community engagement team works with. We've got a fantastic director of youth outreach, Nora Quinn, who is a recent staff addition to the sheriff's office, and she hit the ground running, put together some great curriculum for our youth program and our youth outreach stuff. She'll be running our camp this summer. And we also have Cheryl Bambury on the other side, that is our deputy sheriff officer who works with, you've heard her name mentioned sometimes on this program, with sometimes saving people through our Are You OK program, our senior scam programs. Well, the YES program is born out of a partnership with Nora from our youth division, with Cheryl from our senior division. And it's once again an intergenerational project of youth empowering seniors. Yes. And so we were able to work in the spring with a group of students from Avon High School. And they spent their Fridays connecting with seniors at the Avon Council on Aging, helping them overcome challenges, simple challenges that you and I might struggle a little bit too, but their average person would struggle with things of technology, your phone, your iPad, social media. Seniors, they didn't grow up on that stuff. And so being able to access your cell phone, how to send a text message, how to access your laptop, how to create documents. This was stuff that was a fun experiment. The seniors that we had, seniors and juniors provided, the seniors in the program provided the kids with years of wisdom too. And that's the flip side. The kids provide, advice about technology, and the seniors are able to basically share their experiences with these young minds that are coming out of high school, some of the things that they can expect. And, and the seniors, once you and I both know as dads, sometimes our kids don't want to listen to us, but they will listen to somebody else. And that's kind of cool. I'm fine with that. And so you watch these young high schoolers listening to seniors at the Avon Council on Aging share their stories and really put together an intergenerational partnership. Really successful program, and the level of maturity that these kids demonstrated, the empathy and the patience that they have, and certainly the desire was unmatched that I've seen. And so we want to invest more in our youth doing this.
And I think concepts remain the same, but because of technology, the way to, I suppose, employ those concepts differs. And that's where having students working with seniors, that's where the benefit
lies. That's a huge benefit for that. And the kids do a great job. I guess I emphasize the patience word because, I'll never forget with myself. I'll never forget when I got my dad his first cell phone, and he's like, "What do I need that for?" I'm like, "Dad, you need this thing to stay in communication with your grandkids and your son, your other son." And so when I had the chance with my own dad, show him when he sent his first text message, And I sent it back to him. See, it works. And he's like, this is pretty cool. And so seniors find it a great opportunity to learn and engage the next generation.
I have a 97-year-old uncle who does text, so I'm always
97.
thrilled. I'm always thrilled when I send him. It's usually something music related, but when I send him a text, and about a half hour later, he responds back.
Yeah, it's awesome. And if I just want to give a shout out to our, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get it up on the screen at some point, but if anybody's interested, if we have, if there's a school out in Norfolk County that is hearing our message here and wants to get engaged and bring their students as part of this program, you can reach out to our youth program, and that's going to be youth@norfolksheriffma.org. We'll get that going.
And I do think, just before we leave this topic, that students working with seniors, I've seen it myself, there's a lot of patience, and that the students just, they don't feel like they need to show, but they automatically show.
They do, and that's the beautiful thing about it. I love watching it.
Memorial Day is coming up. Let's talk about flags for our families.
Another thing, this month, I guess, is a lot of theme about veterans and honoring their service. And so when we talk about our Flag for Our Families program on Memorial Day, and I always believe that Memorial Day itself, it's a weekend that sometimes gets kind of lost in the kickoff of summer and barbecues and cookouts, and that's all great and good. But
car sales,
appliance sales, whatever it works. But we want to kick off Memorial Day as a solemn remembrance weekend, and we do it on Saturday, May 24th, 9 o'clock in the morning, down at our public safety complex down in Braintree. We invite the people to come out, the public to come out and stand with their neighbors in our color guard to reflect on the true spirit of the solemn Memorial Day holiday and what it stands for. And it really is to remember those who have been lost in war and as well as in peacetime, folks that have given the ultimate sacrifice, the final devotion, as they say, to our country. And so at the Sheriff's Office, we ask people to come out. It's not a long ceremony. We have dozens of large American flags set up on our front lawn, our green. We've got veterans that will be there. We got a nice small ceremony that we conduct. We play taps. We do a moment of silence. And we're really honored to have a partnership around Norfolk County with our veteran service officers. And so we're very grateful that the Braintree Veteran Service Office participates with us in this program in Braintree. And we invite everybody to come out. It's a great way, short, 9 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, to really start kicking off the Memorial Day, put you in the right frame of mind to really honor our veterans, are those that passed away, that gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country.
We talked a lot about veterans in this episode, but also about youth, and you hinted earlier about the Youth Leadership Academies.
I believe this is year 22 of the Sheriff's Youth Leadership Academy, and this year we're starting it off on June 16th, and that runs through August 15th for our Braintree camp. But as I campaigned for sheriff, I promised the folks in the other part of the county that we would not forget about them. And so we are now in our second year of running the Medway Youth Leadership Academy. That starts on July 7th and runs through August 1st, and that's going to be at Medway High School. So we have two camps running simultaneously throughout the summer months. The academies are basically designed to help youth between the ages of 10 and 14 develop crucial skills needed in the modern world. It's lost in the translation. We talked about the technology, and it can be frustrating because you and I didn't grow up with having cell phones and texts, and we had that instant communication with our friends and our neighbors, and our parents would shout out the door it was time to come home, or maybe there was a rule in the household, when the lights come on, you better come home. But this academy teaches people about team building, communication, how to look out for your fellow peer academy student, and so it teaches people to look out for themselves, look out for others, overcoming challenges. And certainly we have the ropes course there, and that can be intimidating to some kids, and it's amazing to watch how much 1 week can transform a kid. when we put them through this program. And it's not just about the ropes course. It's really about that team building, the lessons learned, the lifetime friendships. We encourage people to come out. We do have some kind of cool activities there, the zip line, the ropes course as part of our program, but with also day-to-day activities that are going on. We have some openings available for people, so if you're interested this summer, we can plug you in. You can go to norfolksheriff.com. You can click on our youth programs tab, and that'll take you to under our divisions tab in the youth section. You'll have a full sign-up. Click on that, register. You might get a message that says you're on the wait list, but we're actively processing anybody that looks to sign up. We'll try to get people accommodated. We want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to participate in this program because the results we get are really life-changing.
And obviously it's popular because it has expanded 2 campuses
Yes.
now. Talk about maybe some of the feedback that you get from the attendees.
So we get feedback from, it's funny, the attendees we have as the kids, obviously, and they thrilled. They want to come back year after year. Some of them want to take advantage of a second week during the summer, and if we can accommodate that, we do. We also get a lot of great feedback from our peer leaders, which is our high school kids who have gone through the program who are now volunteering. And they come back, don't get paid anything. They're classic interns who actually give back to the kids now. And they're our peer leaders, we call them.
And that's good because you
great.
just mentioned a possibility of community service.
Another thing, a lot of those high school kids are looking to get community service. This qualifies for that. We sign you up. And then we get our college students too that come back, and actually they're our paid counselors that work with the kids. They come back year after year, and they go on to great things. And so when we celebrated our 20-year reunion, all of those students and those peer leaders, those counselors came back, and a lot of those kids stayed in contact with each other. They're now adults, and they have kids of their own who are now coming back to the camp. And the final feedback we get, which is always gratifying, is every Friday we have a little graduation ceremony, and parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles come out. We have a little pizza party. But the feedback that we get about my kid, in 1 week, the transformation in terms of that kid started on Monday, in a shell, and on Friday all of a sudden is unrecognizable in 1 week. And that's the power of this program.
I do a camp here or a clinic here during the summer, and students from the middle school age range will produce programming. So you might, at the beginning of the week, have a kid that is shy and is very hesitant to participate. By the end of the week, that same student is directing a production.
Yeah, they need to be inspired a little bit. They need to be coached. They need to be encouraged. And I think that's the name of the game. That's the message we say. That's the basic message for all kids. There's not every kid is an extrovert. I know I wasn't. I was kind of a book nerd. Growing up, I was a great student, but I liked to study and do my thing. And it took a while for me to come out of my shell. Obviously, right now. There's no more shyness.
I don't think you're in that anymore.
But kids need it. They need the encouragement. And so our youth programs, we're very happy. I'm glad we had the chance today to speak about youth, our seniors, our veterans. And it really feeds into the mission of the sheriff's office. People often say to me, what are you running all this stuff for? Don't you just run a jail? No. The sheriff is elected by the people in Norfolk County and throughout the Commonwealth, all 14 counties, to be the guardian of the people. And we want to make sure that our people feel safe in our communities, that they're active programming, engaged with our citizenry.
And I think it sets up folks to make the right decision later on in life.
Perfect. And that's so our goal is to put ourselves out of business in the sheriff's office. If we can reduce crime and we can reduce opportunities by which people go the wrong way, and we start with our kids. And if we can get them at a young enough age into programs, into activities, building confidence, building opportunities, that transforms lives, and it won't get them down the bad path that some guys, unfortunately, men and women go down. But we have programs for them too. And my job is to rehabilitate and make sure that I deliver back into a community a better person than I found.
Well said. I want to thank you, Sheriff, for coming by, and we will see you in short order.
Absolutely.
And thank you at home for watching, and please remember to support the local access station in the community in which you reside. Take care.